Hey guys, it's Ron from Kind of Nerdy. It's been a while since I posted a video, or any of us have. We've been all so busy. And I've been thinking about doing this for a while, watching other channels on YouTube, and so I decided to make a video of Uncanny X-Men 183. The reason I decided to do this is because it's, as you can see by the cover picture, a barroom brawl between Colossus and the red-headed guy who is Juggernaut. So a little setup to this story. The story came out in 1984, I think. Let me make sure here. Scroll down. 1984. Yes. So this is right after the first Secret Wars, where all of the Earth superheroes and a bunch of the villains were transported to another world by the Beyonder. I may do a video of that if I get requests for it. But anyways, so what happened? Colossus and Johnny Storm both fell in love with this alien woman while they were on the world, and she ended up dying. Well, before the Secret Wars, Colossus and Kitty Pryde were in a relationship, and so Colossus felt guilty. We'll actually get into that. So this is Uncanny X-Men number 184, and the title is He'll Never Make Me Cry. So we open up with Colossus and Kitty Pryde sitting on a knoll somewhere, I'm assuming close to Xavier's mansion, and he's trying to break it to her gently that he fell in love with someone else. And Colossus was not exactly the most worldly person back then. You have to figure, even though the comics had been out for a few years, only a few months, not probably half as many years had passed. So he's still a farm boy from the Ukraine in the Soviet Union, and so he was not much of a ladies' man. He was just a family, worked for his family to support the farm. So anyways, so he's having a hard time here, which I'm sure some of us can relate to, is breaking up with Kitty Pryde. So we go on, and he says, I wish I knew what to say, and she's thinking, tell me it's a joke, tell me it's anything but true. Yeah, this is her first love. She was only 13 when she fell in love with him. He was about 18, 17. I know, age difference, but, the comic books back then, there was no sex or anything. It was just all, puppy love. So, anyway, so she's, he was telling her about how this girl was a, healer, and that she'd saved his life. And Kitty Pryde's all like, well, so did I. When she asked, well, was she pretty? As beautiful as the dawn, as gentle as the spring rain. Yeah, that's something you want to tell a girl when you're breaking up with her. Is like, oh yeah, she was beautiful, more beautiful than you. Anyways, so as you can see, Kitty Pryde is, needless to say, heartbroken. So she says, so I'm sorry if you can't see the whole video. I'm testing out using Bandicam as a full screen. Here, okay, there we go. Up, and it still went away. So let's go like this. All right. So she says, "Shut up, Peter." She's thinking, "Shut up, Peter. Don't say anymore. It hurts too much." And he says, "Oh, she's a country girl in a small farming village, like me in my home, Russia." Yeah, yeah. The same excuse guys give. So she died in his arms, and but as far as I know, nothing happened other than that he fell in love with her, and she had that effect because I believe that a side effect of her healing power was a form of what's the word I'm looking for? Not empathy, but it made you fall in love with her. It gave you an emotional connection to her. So she's, Kitty Pryde's trying to be strong and says, well, I'm sorry for your loss, Peter. She must have meant the world to you. And he says, as much as you once did. And she's all, once? Well, I would have given anything for this never to happen. And she's all, that makes two of us. I did not mean it. And he's like, but he has no social, no, he has not a very good social graces, as it were. So he says, I cannot deny what I felt. And I still feel, I understand, she's like, I understand, Peter, you're going to start to pick up the pieces, and this is very hard for me. And he calls her Kitty, and she says, why won't you call me Katya anymore, is what his nickname for her was. And he says, my feelings have. He says, I care for you deeply, Kitty, but the love I felt, this commitment, is no longer there. And it's like, damn, it just took one woman to make him fall out of love with a girl that he was in love with. So she's like, well, that's, anybody that's a teenager knows what it's like to have your heart broken for the first time, and she's trying to be strong and put on a brave face. But that's one of the things I love about comics is you get actually what they are saying, or they're not only what they're saying, but what they're thinking. She's like, oh, what I do to deserve this? It's not right. And she's but on the outside she's saying, well, hey, I've always wanted what was best for you, Peter, and if that means you loving someone else other than me, which is a lie, and we all know that. I guess so. There's a breaks, and he says, I can't. I hope we can remain friends. Yeah, friend zoned. Okay. So X-Men, we're X-Men, Peter. We're a bond. It's supposed to be nothing to breaks. Look, I hate to run, but I got a lot of homework to do. Yeah, she doesn't want to be crying in front of him, so she walks off, and so she's back at the mansion. And for nearly 2 years, she's been a child. So it was 2 years since they met. So we figure, so if she was 13 when she came there, she has to be 15 now. And Colossus was 17 or 18 when she got there. So we figure he's probably about 20 or 21. So she says, I should call my mom. Storm is watching, and she probably knows what's going on. Don't sweat it, Storm. Now, up until this time, Storm and Kitty Pryde have had a good relationship, but since Storm went and cut her hair to a mohawk, Kitty's kind of been standoffish. Kitty Pryde was a very judgmental person back then. That's something I realized a long time ago, is that Kitty Pryde was very judgmental. And look, we got some ads in here too. So, anyways, I'm showing you the whole comic. So here, and so she's thinking about how she's trying that he was cruel. She cares. She about her thoughts about Storm. When she told me nothing lasts, that in the end we all live our lives alone. If I fall in love, I said, will it only be for a little while, or will the person stop loving me? Now I know. So the thing is, when you get dumped by your boyfriend, it's not very good when your roommate is his sister. So Ileana Rasputin is Kitty Pryde's roommate at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. And so Ileana's all, how'd it go with my brother? Oh, peachy keen, Ileana, what do you expect? And of course her little dragon Lockheed is there, always been there. And he's like, cool. And she somehow Kitty Pryde has a psychic link with Lockheed, and she knows what he's thinking, and she just starts crying. And Ileana comes and hugs her. I think Ileana's a good best friend, because even though it's her brother, she's still, Kitty Pryde's best friend. So, anyways, we move along to Rogue fighting in the danger room by herself. Storm walks in on her, and she's fighting these two robots, and she's like, y'all are supposed to be tough. Is that the best you can do? And she gets knocked down, and the robots are moving in for the kill. But the thing is, when you're in a danger room, you're not supposed to do it by yourself. You're supposed to be supervised. And apparently, it's like the holodeck on Star Trek: The Next Generation. If you have the safety protocols disengaged, you're gonna get your ass whooped. So Storm comes in and she strikes one of the robots with the lightning bolt. And says, "What possesses you? Not only working along with the running program that might have meant your death. It was my life, I'll roll. Leave it be." So one of the things about the X-Men in the 80s, there was a lot of drama, which I liked. It was a lot of soap opera type things, and everyone had their little what do you call it? They had their little drama, and she says she says as long as you're an X-fan, you're my responsibility. That's what happened between you and Michael Rossi. So this is another story I have to do one day. In the comic books, Rogue gets her powers from Ms. Marvel, Carol Danvers, who's going to be Captain Marvel in the MCU movie coming up this next year in March. Anyways, and so she had her memories, and her one of her memories was triggered when they came back from the Secret Wars, and she heard the voice of this guy that used to be one of Carol Danvers' ex-boyfriends. So she kind of Carol Danvers' persona took over her, and Rogue went into the Shield helicarrier and infiltrated to rescue him because he was being held for spying. So, anyways, so they get in this drama, and she's like, "Well, Rogue, do not bottle up your emotions within you. I know that agony can bring. We are your teammates and your friends, and if you will allow, let us help." And she's like, "You're wearing gloves. That makes it safe for you to reach out. No risk. I can't steal your mind and memories, destroy your life the way I have others." Now, the thing is, Rogue has always been in the early days of her being in the X-Men. Rogue has always been a poor, woe is me kind of person because she can't have physical contact with anyone without knocking them out and taking their memories and powers, and so it makes it hard to be in love when you can't touch your person. So she goes storming off and says, "I don't want your pity, Storm, and there's nothing you with a precious Professor X can do to help. Stay away from me, will you? Just leave me alone." She doesn't want her to feel sorry for her, but she wants her to feel sorry for her. You know how it is. Storm is left alone with her thoughts, and picked up the perfect weekend for me to be off with the new. The professor is off with the New Mutants, and you're sorely missed and needed. Rogue's bitterness and fear over her uncontrollable powers may well drive her back to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Heaven only knows what will come of Peter's conversation with Kitty. I heard her sobbing. Poor thing, Ileana was with her. It felt somehow wrong for me to intrude on them. I love Peter dearly, but better he had died on the Beyonders world than returned to bring my kitten such grief. Nice thoughts, huh? And of course, Colossus comes in. The lights are off, and about time, Bub. I was beginning to think you'd never shown Wolverine in Shadow, and Colossus says something in Russian. Says, "Wolverine, I was walking, trying to clear my thoughts. Little late, ain't you? The damages have been done. Let me pass, please." "Nope. You're coming with me into town for a little long overdue talk. Some other times, perhaps. I'm not really in the mood." "I don't recall giving you a choice, Peter." "Wolverine," bump, and of course, it's Nightcrawler is teleporting, looking for him. Zoom, what I can't. German is not my strong suit. "Logan, you promised you wouldn't do anything without me," and he teleports to the top of the car. "Don't bother with the door, Peter. I'll just teleport inside." It's like, "Nightcrawler, the stench," and goes, "I'll open a window." I know you prefer seeing Peter by yourself, Logan, but occasionally it's useful to have a referee along as well, just in case things get out of hand. He's like, "Wonderful." And so Storm goes in to see Kitty and says, "Kitten, dinner's on the table." "Thanks, Oro. I'm not hungry. You've been up here by yourself all afternoon. Are you packing?" "Uh-huh. I phoned the professor, explained things. We had a good talk. I figured I needed a change of scene and a couple of weeks of relative normalcy. I haven't seen Dad in ages. I owe him a visit. I'm catching the morning flight to Chicago, and maybe afterwards I'll stop by my mom's." The professor gave his permission. If it's a school for voluntary enrollment, why does she have to have the professor's permission to go see her custodial parents? And Storm asks her, "How long are you going to be gone?" Let me get this. For how long? It's just nothing's definite yet. I'll just play things by ear. This is a goodbye. Is this goodbye? Part of me wants it to be. I can't stop crying, Oro, but I'll die before I let Peter see my tears. He doesn't deserve them, and I don't care how unfair that sounds. When I'm out of tears, then maybe I'll be back. You know what I wish more than anything? That I could resurrect Peter's beloved to life, to perfect health right here in Salem Center. At least then I'd have something to fight. Oh, how do you compete with ghosts? Oh, cripes, here I go again. Uh, Bear with it, child. Endure the pain. The pain will last. I hate him, Aurora, with all my heart. I love him. So, I don't know if we've all been there, but I know I've been there where you love someone and you can hate them at the same time. So we have a flash to Dallas en route from the airport. Dr. Valerie Cooper, the National Security Council, and Raven Darkholme, aka Mystique, Deputy Director of the Defense of Advanced Research Planning Agency. Uh, they're going to let me move it up here. So it's been a while since I read it, and I don't remember all of it. Well, I'm trying to move it so I can see the whole text. Bill of Affairs certainly stirred up a hornet's nest. We expected it's the year for anti-government paranoia. It's introducing X-Men number 181. Thank you, George Orwell. Pity people don't realize mutants may prove more dangerous than nuclear weapons. We're in a race against time to develop and exploit our mutant assets before the Soviets or anyone else do. So you can tell the time frame here. They're trying to compete with the Soviet Union to weaponize mutants. And Raven says mutants are born, Val, not made. You can't rush that process. True for the present, but there's our alternative means for detecting and deterring hostile activity. Hopefully your man Forge can provide them. And Mystique thinks to herself, what would you say, Valerie, if you knew that I was one of the very beings that you're so concerned about, not merely a mutant, but a terrorist? Mystique, leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I'll take any measures necessary to protect myself and ensure my group's continued survival and success. Whatever your plans, my dear, whatever your devices Forge has crafted for you, you're both beaten before you've begun, and quite possibly as good as dead. Alright, so we flash to a bar called Monahan's and in the West Village, watering hole in Manhattan, where the neighborhood is still more than a trendy neighborhood. And here the low lights and dark wood walls make it easier for Nightcrawler to remain inconspicuous, and the patrons pretty much mind their own business. Dinner was excellent, my friends. Yeah, but it's left me with a terrible thirst. Peter, would you mind ordering the first round? 3 drafts and a whiskey chaser for the cowboy. Okay, but I want to see some ID first. You look kind of young to me, fella. I'm nearly 20. Good proof. Got proof? So now we know he's only 19. Alright, so Peter's being carded. So what, he's legal? Apparently you could be 19 and drink in New York back in 1984. So Logan, I know your intentions. I know your intentions for tonight. If you're smart, then Elf, you'll stay out of my way. He's just a boy. Then he deserves a spanking. If he's a man though. It's time he faced the consequences for his actions. Either way, I'm taking a piece out of him. So apparently Wolverine had planned to bring him here so he could whoop his ass for breaking Kitty Pryde's heart. So hours later, they're still there, and we see the crowd is a lot more people coming into the bar to get drinks, and after a great many drinks and increasingly heated words, let's see if you can see my cursor here. Nope, you can't see it. So if you see the picture on the left, you see the big guy with the woman wrapped around him. That happens to be Juggernaut. And we have a woman. The woman will be revealed later. I won't spoil that because you know the whole thing. The whole story is about Colossus and Juggernaut fighting, so that's not much of a spoiler. I guess I should have said spoiler alert before I started recording this video, huh? So, let's see if I can get this up here out of the way so I can read what's going on up here. Whoops, went too many pages up, sorry. Alright, let's try this. Alright, so An explanation. I told you I fell in love with another woman. Is that a crime? What you felt wasn't love. Now, now are your enhanced animal senses able to see into my heart and soul? By what right do you have to tell me how to run my life? You're making a bad mistake, Peter. You're hurting two people I care for, yourself, dummy, and Kitty. And he says, should I have lied to her, pretended emotions that no longer exist? That would have been true cruelty. And Nightcrawler says, are you so certain of your feelings? I mean, duh, absolutely. Are you sure you ain't just scared of what? Sometimes Bub winning's as hard as to deal with as losing. Kitty's not a kid anymore. You two were going beyond playing games. You were thinking marriage or life together at the same time. You suddenly had competition from Doug Ramsey, someone Kitty's age, as smart as her, with the same upbringing and interests. And it's easy to moon over a lost love, to fantasize over what might have been, secure in the knowledge that it'll never happen. It makes a great excuse for not facing the risks or demanding reality. Demands a reality. Who are you talking to? Who are you to talk? You walked away from the woman you profess to love. Colossus is getting a little gutsy here. He's had a few drinks, obviously. And Wolverine, Wolverine just sips and takes it in stride and says, ask me, our separation's a matter of honor and duty. For us, that transcends love, no matter how much it hurts. If I had truly loved Kitty, Wolverine, how then could I have so easily fallen for another? Fear makes a body do stupid things sometimes. He's like, whoa. Who do you to call me? How dare you to call me a coward? He goes, yeah, do you to call me a coward? Do you call me a coward? That's what he's saying. I'm sorry. This is my first one, so you got to bear with me. There's a lot of things I can't read. He says, yep. And he's thinking, I know that scent. It's been a while since our last cross Murphy's Law would bring him in here tonight. There's only the one familiar scent, at least, and it didn't bring his partner. He's close. Bingo. He's in civvies, relaxed and on the prowl. Looks like the X-Men are the last thing on his mind, which suits me fine. He says he hasn't spotted us, and I aim to keep it that way. We've got to get out of this joint fast and quietly without attracting any attention. He's seen us out of our costumes. He knows our faces. On your feet, boy. We need some air. Was ist? Nightcrawler says, port ahead, elf. Meet us outside. I'll explain there. So, and suppose I don't wish to leave. Colossus, Petey. Oh, that's funny. He jumps up and throws his beer on Juggernaut. But, sir, I'm sorry, sir. It was an accident. I will gladly repay you. Darn straight, bozo. Only money ain't good enough. I'm taking it out of your hide. And he shoves him, and he goes crashing into the wall. And he says, had I not formed into my armored self, that impact might have killed me. I did not desire to fight, comrade, but since you insist, I will give you one. You will never forget. Wolverine, this man at the bar, has in a prayer. He goes, pal, but if anyone's in trouble, Nightcrawler hasn't realized who the guy is. He's like, he says, Duck, things that get out of hand, I aim to sit back and enjoy the show. It's what the boy deserves, and what I was planning to do to him myself. People are all ruffians. 20 on the big guy. Sammy, they're both big. Shouldn't someone call the cops? Be my guest. Phone's behind the bar. How kind and handsome you are. See, this chick that was with Juggernauts moved into another guy. She's like, I feel safe. I feel much safer with you. We'll get back to her later. So, anyways, I'm gonna mash you flat, you tin Ruski. It's you and me, and this time one of us, one-on-one. You ain't got your wimp ex-buddies to save your butt. I do not need them. Who is this madman? He knows of the X-Men and obviously hates us, but I do not recognize him. And what of Wolverine and Nightcrawler? Are they just watching? I come home to a crummy burg, crummy burg for a lousy visit, and wham! That lousy wall crawler traps me in a block of solid concrete. Spider-Man had him buried in concrete for several months, and so he finally escaped. And says, "But I finally bust out my way out and head for the my favorite bar for a little R&R and meet a nice lady. Things click for once, and I'm enjoying myself. And then you muck it up. You X-Men have made my life miserable, Colossus." Here's where the Juggernaut returns the compliment. He just plows the bar on top of a Colossus. And the guy's all, "My bar! Thank goodness your insurance covers superhero battles. Hey, these days in the Big Apple, you can't survive without it. People, this is no fun fight. They mean business. Ladies and gents, I have a suggestion. Run!" And everybody runs out of the bar. This is the chicks split. "Great, thanks a lot, Potato Brain. There's another one you owe me. Too bad you're already flattened, chump. I was just getting started." "What a surprise, comrade. So was I." Colossus tackles him. Says, "That's what I like about you, X-Men boy. You're gluttons for punishment. I am no boy." Touche. It looks like I touched a nerve. Did I? Well, if you don't like what I'm saying, you know how to shut me up. Come on, Colossus. Let's see what you can do. Take your best shot. Logan, the bar is in shambles. We have to do something. Got any suggestions? That's Juggernaut, pal. The closest thing on Earth to an irresistible force. Look, if insurance won't cover the damages, I will. This is one scrap worth paying for. And Colossus, he said he won't. He doesn't need us, L. I'm taking his word for it. That sucker was my Sunday punch." And he comes running at Colossus, and he says he's talking about Black Tom Cassidy, who is his partner, and this is what Black Tom Cassidy would call the coup de grace, and he literally brings the bar down. He says, top that fella if you can. Not too shabby, Muscles. I missed you clowns. How come? Just lucky, I guess. You looking for a piece of this action? Nope. Smart play, Shrimp. You tell the kid from me he did himself proud. He's got guts and heart, and he throws a mean right cross. And both of them, or you, or any of the other X-Men get in my way again. Even by accident, I won't be so nice. Neither will we. This is for the owner to fix the place. Wow, look, Colossus. It's interesting that Juggernaut gave him the money to pay to give to the bartender. You know, who would have expected Juggernaut to be so generous? Be seeing you. Count on it, bub. How you doing there, hero? All the pieces still working? You just leave me alone. I need no help, Wolverine. Least of all from you. Where is Juggernaut? Gone. Fight's over, Petey. You lost. You let me fight alone. You didn't even try to stop him. Yep. We are X-Men. We're supposed to stand by each other. That's the theory. But you betrayed that trust. Oh, yeah? We stand together is that right? Through thick and thin, no matter what? Yes. We go to the wall for each other? Yes. Pay any price, make any sacrifice, our lives, even our honor? Yes. Like Kitty did for you? She's 14, Peter. So there's a 5-year age difference between them. But to save you, she agreed to marry Caliban and join the Morlocks. If Caliban hadn't released her from that vow, she'd be there today. You never even said thank you. Food for thought, eh? The Morlocks are a band of outlaw mutants living beneath Manhattan. Maybe we'll get into them later. So, Nightcrawler and Wolverine are talking about how Nightcrawler is telling Wolverine how harsh it was of him to let Colossus get his ass whooped like that, and he says, her feelings, Kurt, she was going through. He never gave her a chance to explain, or them both one to work things out. It's like the boy just cut her out her heart, and he's very young, a blood debt obligated, and he welched. A body can't do that, especially to someone they love, more so than someone they respect. I'm glad he had to learn the hard way. It's a taste of that he did to Kitty. You know, he knows now what he did. Next time, whatever the outcome, he'll act from choice, not ignorance. Is there hope, Logan? Will there be a next time for Peter and Kitty? That's their business, pal, not their decision, their lives. And then we have a cutaway to the black-haired woman. She goes, "You should feel blessed, Stuart. Only the very finest and best humanity has to offer are called upon and sacrifice to their lives to the goddess incarnate." And we see that this Stuart, who's drained of his life, unfortunately, you are the best, but a morsel. That man mountain I chose earlier could have been a feast. No matter there will be other opportunities to claim him and his friends. After 2,000 years of exile, Selene is once more free to walk the wide, wonderful world and hunt in time to rule. Next, the past of future days. So, that's my first comic book reading, and we have an ad for Don't Call Them X-Babies anymore, and the New Mutants advertisement for the New Mutants issue 2018. Issue 18, not 2018. And one of the things I like about these old comics is the ads. Special 1984 savings certificate. You can enclose $17 for 2 titles for $6, 14 issues, plus one at $5, 14 issues, enclosed $6. So you could subscribe to get your comic books delivered at home, and these are the list of comic books that they had at that time for Marvel: Alpha Flight, Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Captain America, Conan, Crystar, Daredevil, Dazzler, Defenders, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four, G.I. Joe, Incredible Hulk, Indiana Jones, Iron Man, Marvel Tales, Marvel Team-Ups, New Mutants, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, Power Man and Iron Fist, Rom, The Space Knight, Star Wars, The Thing, and Thor, X-Men. And then special titles: Marvel Age, Khazar, Micronauts, Moon Knight, What If, Conan the King, Marvel Fanfare, and Savage Sword of Conan. So that's going to conclude my reading of Uncanny X-Men number 183, the duel between Colossus and Juggernaut. When I saw Deadpool 2, it made me think of this comic, and I wanted to do a review. Let me know what you guys think of this. I'm sorry that you can't see, that I'm not able to see all of it for some reason. I got to learn how to use Bandicam with this, so I think I actually just figured it out. Let me see here. Oh yeah, look, I could have done that. All right, look, I figured it out. Too bad I didn't figure it out earlier. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy this. This is Ron for Kinda Nerdy. Give us a like and tell me in the comments section below. Let us know. Let me know what other comics you'd like me to do a review of, or do a read through of and telling of. Anything. Right now I want to focus on Silver and Golden Age. So this is Ron for Kinda Nerdy. I want to just say wubba lubba dub dub and peace and good night.